So we're here currently at the port and we're taking delivery of my friend's GT3 RS. It's a 991.1. It's currently in that blue container over there. And I think that thing's gonna be picked up by this giant forklift by the side. And there she is. Since the GT3 RS is ridiculously low, especially since it has that really low front chin, they would have to put these ramps because of that lip on the container. So hopefully we will be able to smoothly get it out of this container without tearing off the front chin. No idea how they're going to climb into the car because it's really narrow by the side. So I was able to kind of squeeze myself through the side of the container. And this is where we left the key. So look how tight that is. This is where we left the key of the GT3. So I just have to unleash this from the wipers. And then there we go. Beautiful key from Porsche. We got really wide vents over here for extra downforce. And as we go towards the front, because it's an RS, to save weight, Porsche didn't even give you like a badge. So this is just stuck on there. That's just a sticker. And yep, there goes the 88 millimeters of ground clearance for the front chin. So after a crazy ton of gymnastics, I was able to slip myself inside. So I had to remove my shoes and all that. And in here, oh, that door thud's amazing. I'm gonna be enjoying myself with this car on the way home. Right, now let's start the car up. So Porsche key goes to the left side. We opened up the window so we can hear the magnificent exhaust in 3, 2, 1. Oh, that sounds amazing. It sounds absolutely glorious in here. The exhaust is stock, but it sounds magnificent. We've set off in the GT3 RS and we are in the rather sketchier side of the city, and everything here is just so damn tight. There's so much railroad crossings. So you absolutely know that it is quite hard to live with a GT3 RS in the city. I mean, that's a given, but it's not until I actually drove it here where it's crazy tight that I really realized that, oh my God, it's one big hassle to drive this here in the city. This thing belongs in the track, but I'm gonna be using this for a couple of days, and yeah, let's see just how much I can live with the GT3 RS in Manila. You have to be incredibly mindful of your front chin. Even, oh my gosh, even just a tiny drop such as this, I really have to go like 7 on this one. Yep. So at this point, you're probably thinking it's such a rubbish car to drive, especially if you live in Manila, because after all, there's really not much roads in Manila that you can use this car most of the time, unless you have time to go to Clark or to Batangas all the time. However, find a good stretch of road and you floor it. You unleash 500 horsepower in a 0 to 100 time of 3.1 seconds, which is something you can really feel and you can use a lot after the light turns green. This thing revs up to pretty close to 9,000 RPM and it just puts a huge joy on your face. So will it be worth all the 70-year-old back feeling, suspension and all that? Yes, it's absolutely worth it. The soundtrack in this car is just beautiful. The gear shifts, they put this in its PTK Sport mode, is just brilliant. Those few times that you can actually unleash this car, it just takes off and it's bloody brilliant. Oh, whew. The brakes, they're huge and they bite so fast, so hard. It's gonna take entire face off. Got to PJ Cars here in Green Hills and the GT3 RS is now being checked. Just have to sign the checklist and then we are off. This will be taken tomorrow. Just gonna go in for a short oil change. And we are PJ Cars sanitized. And we can now take off in the newly serviced GT3 RS. So now it is my day 4 with the GT3 RS and I haven't really been using it a lot. However, I do use it once in a while to do some chores. And right now we are on our way to somewhere in the Green Hills area to film the review of this car. And honestly, on the way there here in New Manila, the roads are not bad. And that is the magic behind a Porsche or even a GT3 RS 911. It may be a fast car, it may be a fun car, but it's one of those few sports cars slash mild supercars that you can still drive around once in a while. I mean, yes, it's not the best for your back, but it's a lot better than a lot of other supercars out there. This thing is just, there's a sense of practicality when you do have a 911. Now, one thing you need to know about the GT3 RS, it actually comes with a stereo system. And not gonna lie, the stereo system is pretty good, especially for a sports car. But you really don't need that because you already have the best stereo system at the back. That alone is one entire soundtrack. It's an entire album. The sound coming out of the engine from that rear exhaust is just glorious. You really do not need to connect to your Bluetooth and play whatever tunes you have. Spotify, you don't need that. That is the only Spotify premium you need at the back. And obviously, if doing chores is a bit boring, you can always bring your GT3 RS to do your chores so that you can do this and enjoy all that magnificent sounding exhaust. And it'll just take all your problems away when you hear that. I could do chores in this car all day and still ride relatively comfortably. Yeah, it's not the best, but I can live with it. Living with a GT3 RS on the roads of Manila is totally doable. And this is the best example of why a GT3 RS is still actually livable with in the streets of Manila. I am currently driving it along EDSA. Yeah, it's not the most comfortable, but it works. It's not gonna make you puke. It's not gonna make you feel sick. The same cannot be said for a lot of supercars out there, unless they're really made to be the GT models. But this one, yeah, I'm just cruising along EDSA. Crazy fun car. The GT3 RS just is hands down the best track weapon that you can still live with. The GT3 RS is one of my top choices for when you're looking for a beautiful, beautiful toy. It's just absolutely amazing.